Evening, everybody. I waited until 7:30 because I wanted to make sure that I had a solid handle on Netflix, Tesla, and IBM after their earnings today. We'll get to that in a minute. Market had kind of a quiet day, change-wise, volume-wise. It actually traded 5.1 billion, which was up from yesterday's 4.8, which was up from the day before's 4.6, and which was up from a 4.1 number at the end of last week. So let's get to it. Um, as you can see in the futures, grains were higher. Um, Oil was slightly lower. Gold actually closed unchanged. This is the evening session. It was exactly unchanged at 1980.80. The silver had kind of a catch up day, it was up 13 cents while nothing went on the other way. The softs cotton was up $1.50, coffee was down, and the sugar was higher. Tonight's session, we're already seeing the S&P down 12 and three quarters, the Nasdaq down 102, and the Dow down 28. The dollar index was up just 36 cents, but still below par. Tonight, Bitcoin is down. It was actually up 300, so this is a net change to the positive. And Ethereum is down 23. The bonds are down 5 after being up almost a full point. So let's get to the ones you really want to hear about. Carvana closed up 16 in the regular market with a high of 56.92, and then in the aftermarket made a new high on the day by $6, 62.38. The last is 55.78, which is up 15.98, 40%, and is literally down 2 cents from the regular close. Netflix, with a missed top line, but growth everywhere else, it actually closed 477.91, up just short of 3, made a new high on the headline at 495 and change, and then turned down and moved to 430. Let me give you a up to the minute quote here. A huge outside day with that high at 495, made a new low on the day at 430 and a quarter. Last is 437.61. That's down $37, 7.4%. And in point of fact, I saw where the miss was. It was on revenues, but the ads were right, and the signups were good. Tesla beat on revenue, missed on bottom line. The stock had closed 291 and change, down just $2.08. Made a new low after the close. Let me get that for you. Same thing, outside day, uh, regular hours, kind of a short range. Like I said, 291.26, and then kept the high, did not make a high on that headline, and came all the way down to 275.79. Last is 278.25, and that's down 15.09. And the IBM was the tamest one. They actually are making more money with Red Hat and their AI work. Was a beat on the bottom line, and revenues just in line. Stock had closed 135.48, up 12 cents, got down to 133.36, 138. Last is 133.82. That's down $1.54. So really not much going on there. The stars today were the banks. Goldman Sachs was up $3 and change, even though they missed, poorly missed. All of the things you would expect them to be strong in, they failed to make it. But it turned back to the upside. Jbht, also a miss. They mentioned the freight recession and said there was some improvement in customer destocking. I actually don't know what that means. But this morning when I told you about it, it was 192, up $3.85. Actually finished the day at 195.23, up 706 or 3.8%. The other banks, Northern Trust, 81 and change, up 9.5, 13.4%. M&T Bank, 138.10, up 334, 2.5%. Western Alliance, 46.42, up 335, 7.8%. And U.S. Bancorp, 38.91, up 236 or 6.5%. And those were all higher on their earnings. So, one thing that's really disturbing me is the 210, which the high on it was about 107 at the Silicon Valley Bank debacle, and got all the way back down to 55. Then it moved back up again to the 102 area. And again, last week on good news, the CPI, the PPI, the core numbers got all the way back down to about 60, 62. Today, the 10-year closed. Let me just make sure I have this. Yep. The 10-year closed at 374, and the 2-year fell 1 basis point to 4.75, 4.75. So we are back at 101. And, they're talking about the fact that it was aided by some friendly inflation data out of the UK, which was, I don't remember the number, but I'll give you a rough estimate. It was probably in the neighborhood of, I believe it was about 7.8, down from 8.9 on the previous report. Let me just make sure. June CPI, 1%. On a month to month, it was expected to be 4, so that's better. And it was down from the last at 7. 7.9 year over year. It was expected to be 8.2, and the last month was 8.7. So not bad, but I remembered that from 6:30 this morning. June core CPI, 0.2 month over month, also expected at 4. Last time was 0.8, so also a pretty big improvement. And core CPI 6.9 versus 7.1 expected, and 7.1 last month. So there you have it. I mean, most of the big names were higher. Apple announced an AI component being added in, and really didn't do much. Up $1.37. I mean, given the stock is trading at 195 here, and made a new recovery high at 198. Not a new recovery high, a new high. 198.23. And I'm not going to get into all of the bullshit about, 3 trillion. None of that really matters. When they come for these stocks, Believe me, it absolutely won't matter. All right, everyone. I'll be back first thing in the morning. Tomorrow is Thursday, so Thursday, of course, is claims day. Initial claims and continuing claims. Also, the July Philly Fed survey. Consensus is down 9.0. The prior was down 13.7. So we'll see what that looks like. After the open at 10 o'clock, we have June existing home sales and June leading indicators. Expected to be down 6 tenths. Prior is down 7 tenths, but you know, all we're hearing about is the fact that today was the eighth day up in a row for the Dow. All the markets closed higher. Not even worth talking about. I'll be back in the morning.